The only downside of we all love doing the show earlier, but the only thing that stinks about the show being earlier is that Tyvis can't be in studio with us, which is a major bummer. So he's going to be. We're going to bring him in from time to time to be part of the show.
Somebody asked me why Tyvis got fired. I'm like,
Tyvis did not get fired.
Didn't get fired.
We're all not thrilled with it. Obviously, we're disappointed that Tyvis can't come to the studio, but he has a regular gig doing radio, and so he can't. He barely made it here for 11 o'clock. So
the dude would leave Columbus at 9 a.m., drive like me to get here by 11.
Right.
It's impossible for him to be here by 10.
So
what's up, Ty?
It's the one downside, but here he is.
What's up, everybody? Hey, you
miss you, buddy.
I leave for a couple weeks, and y'all got new chairs. So, yeah,
right?
It seems like life is great without me.
Well, they don't have to pay your salary anymore, Tyvis, so they can afford the chairs.
Hey, it was only a couple dollars, but you know what? I'm glad that y'all are looking good in y'all white seats. No drinking, no red juice or anything on the set.
Oh, Bull's had something
I did,
red.
but I just finished it.
I mean, I got coffee. I'm spilling coffee on these chairs.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's a guarantee.
We did get a 6 just in case one of these has to be replaced. But
hey, Tyvis, you got apparently, I'm told you have what has been described as a crazy take about the Browns. Is that true?
I don't necessarily. First of all, Bull, I don't do anything crazy. I don't say anything crazy. I think what I'm about to say is very justifiable, and I actually believe you would be on board with it.
All right.
All I said was at 6, if Jeremiah Love is there at 6, the Browns have to take him. Why do I say that? Because I think that if you look at this offseason, right, you want to help your young quarterback out, whether it's Deshaun, Dillon, or Shador. You want to help them out. Well, that run game would definitely help them out. And on top of that little historic moment, we were robbed back in the day of a historic running back duo, Jim Brown and Ernie Davis. This is a chance to right that wrong. Bring it back. Give me Love and Quinshawn in that backfield together, a 1-2 perfect tandem of them being able to do some things in that, especially if we go in the playoffs. Y'all know the run game is very important. I don't see what the problem is. You already upgraded the line. You're going to be running the ball more anyways. In the AFC North, you got to be able to run the ball. Todd Monken with the Ravens was successful with Derrick Henry because he had a back that could run the ball, and he had no problem giving them the ball a bunch of games. You got 2 guys that could be explosive in the run game, take some pressure off a young quarterback. Hey, what's the problem?
Mike is actually the one who's crazy. I completely agree with
Mike. I'm disappointed. I was like,
I agree.
You're out
By the way,
Ty.
I don't remember the exact years, so you guys will correct me if you know it. But remember, the Falcons. He was. I don't remember how high a pick he was, but the Falcons drafted Tyler Algier.
Yep.
Right. Tyler Algier in his rookie season, if I remember correctly, he had 1,000 yards. He was a good back, a really nice back. But the next year, they had the opportunity to get a once-in-a-generation back in Bijan Robinson.
Have they been good with Bijan, though? Has Bijan made them
Is that the reason they're bad?
No, but there's other positions that help you win a lot more football games than the running back position.
Would you rather have an average wide receiver and a top 3 running back, or a good running back and a mid wide receiver?
If it's average versus great, I'll take the great.
Okay.
But who's saying Carnell Tate or whoever they take at 6 receiver wouldn't be better than average?
The general consensus is that Jeremiah Love is a special player and that none of the wide receivers are special players. If the Browns believe that, then I'm with Tyvis. Now, I don't know if Jeremiah Love's going to be there at 6.
Ty, let me ask you a question.
But I got no problem with that whatsoever.
Ty, let me ask you a question. You're in the business of winning football games, correct?
I am.
What's your record prediction next year for the Browns? Just in a range. You think you
8-9.
8-9.
8-9.
Well, Ty, what if I told you that the last 5 running backs.
Still haven't learned from last year.
The last 5 running backs drafted in the top 10. Ty, listen up. The last 5 running backs drafted in the top 10. Their record with the teams that they were drafted with is 123 and 191. It's a 39 winning percentage.
That's a meaningless.
There's 19 seasons where the running back drafted in the top 10 played with the team that drafted them. Of those 19, 3 were winning seasons, 16 were losing seasons. 7 of those head coaches got fired within the next 3 years. If you want to draft a running back, fine. Jeremiah Love might turn into a great player, but it sure as hell ain't helping you win games, Tyvis.
Mikey, I love you to death, but you are part of the problem in this world.
Why?
because you like to look at these stats and think that everything is the gospel. Like that's just is what it's going to be. If you know what a lot of teams don't also have, they didn't fix their entire offensive line. They didn't get a new coaching staff. They didn't upgrade their offense. Like a lot of these things is part of the variable of what you left out of this little thing that you just did when you went back and looked at all these top running backs. So to me personally, that means nothing to me. If the coach that I hired is good and the team that I've now created is good, I feel like you can get a lot of things done with Quinshon and Jeremiah Love. And then on top of all of that, if you look at the wide receivers, let me ask you this: is there a bigger gap from the top running back and the rest of the running backs, or is it a bigger gap from the top receivers and the rest of the wide receivers in this draft? Because to me, if you keep listening to a lot of people talk, a lot of experts are saying like there might not be a bona fide, generational talent at the wide receiver position. They're saying that the guy that you get at 24 can be just as impactful as the guy that you get at 6, which tells me that there's not a huge gap between the wide receivers in this year's draft. Yeah, we say it's a big 3 because we like those 3 guys, but I feel like if you put the right guys, you put a Denzel Boston in the right system, he could be a serviceable guy. You get Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana, who a lot of people are high on. You get him in the second round or late in the first, he can give you the same production as a Cardinal Tate or Mekhi Lemon. So to me, but Jeremiah Love, I think that's a totally different thing. I mean, like I said, like Bull said, when you look at where they're projecting him as coming out of college, he's like arguably like the 3rd best running back to come out since like 2020 or something, 2017, whatever it was.
I have a lot of experience with Saquon, Ty.
Yeah.
You know when Saquon helped to win? When he was surrounded with a good team and a good offense and a proven offensive line with a proven quarterback. But you know what he wasn't really good with?
Mike,
the uncertainty in New York with nothing else.
Super Bowl in 2020.
I'm trying to assemble a roster that can compete for a Super Bowl.
The Browns are not going to be good next year either way, most likely. So
Tyvis thinks they could win 8-9 games next year.
Well, Tyvis thought that last year.
Come on.
So this is who we're arguing with. The person who thinks they could win 8 or 9 games.
But you're making a team that...
Wait. I'm not the only one that thought they could win 8 games. Apparently, the Browns thought they could win 8 games. That's why they fired their coach.
But yeah, that's true.
Nobody living in never mind.
No, but here's the thing, like if the Giants had drafted whatever wide receiver instead of Saquon Barkley, would they been any better? No,
that's my point.
And by the way, more recently, did Jahmyr Gibbs make a huge difference for the Lions? 100%.
Not top 10. Doesn't fit in this category.
He was top. He wasn't top 10.
Right. He out of his mind.
That's so disingenuous. That's so disingenuous. And by the way, without Bijan Robinson, the Falcons would have been a 3-win team.
Bijan's awesome, and Jeremiah Love, in my opinion, is the single best player in this draft. I am not arguing with the
don't
talent.
take the best player in the draft.
Not when you
terrible team that lacks talent on offense.
Not when you already have Quinshon Judkins,
So
who we think has a chance to be a really, really talented.
What if Quinshon pulls a hamstring in week 1? Then what?
Good teams take the best players.
If we're going off, what if someone hurts themselves? Then we can have that conversation for.
If you're telling me this is the best player in the draft, the best player in the draft is available to them. Yeah. But no, I'm good.
If you think,
I got this guy who was a rookie last year.
You don't add a running back to an offense that isn't good. It does nothing for you.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
what are you talking about? It's a way to.
Absolutely.
Not every team wins the same way. If the Browns are going to be good on offense, or at least mediocre on offense, it's got to be running the ball. And if they had that combo in the backfield, they could have a special running game. Your starting quarterback is either going to be, most likely, a guy who hasn't been good for 6 years.
Was throwing the ball 7 yards out of bounds the last time we saw him.
Or a rookie, or a second-year player who was terrible as a rookie and has a long way to go. So either way, to have a dominant running game would make a huge difference.
Takes all the pressure off the quarterback.
When you're building out a roster, if you draft a running back in the top 10, he's immediately one of the 5 highest paid running backs in football. That is not smart roster construction. It's not. It's not.
But your allocation
of resources to put to a running back is silly.
That makes no sense.
But you also have to look at the other side of the equation. Who else is there to pick from? And everything you guys have said is everything that I heard at the owners' meetings. Like, this ain't a great draft, and you'll get a good receiver at 6. You're not going to get even Cardinal Tate.
So would you rather have a good receiver in a horrible receiver room, or a second good back?
I would rather have. I want an elite playmaker.
I want to hear what Tyvis says. Tyvis,
I want an elite playmaker.
Tyvis just said we can get a wide receiver 24. Might be just as good.
Yeah, that's what everybody keep telling me. You know,
No, I
everything
want to
you
hear
hear
what
is
people keep telling you, Tyvis. You and G did a whole receiver
Yeah,
breakdown.
what do you think
Didn't
about
you
these
say
receivers?
you don't like anyone past the top 3? Weren't those your words?
I said that outside of the top 3, you got some guys that's. I didn't look at anybody as
Yeah,
wide
that's what I
receiver
thought,
1.
Tyvis.
That's what I said is I didn't see
You
a
didn't
wide
think I
receiver
watched your
1
stuff. I do.
out of the top 3. That's what I said, and I
Tyvis,
stand on that.
Do you think that any of these wide receivers are going to, any of the top 3 wide receivers, is there a chance there's one of them still there at 24?
No, not a chance.
Okay. All right.
Not a chance.
But-
0%.
Well, that was not a crazy take. That's
not
the
at
bottom
all.
line.
This offense
Yeah.
needs
Thank you.
playmakers.
Yes.
It needs now. The other benefit of Love being at 6 is that might be their only shot to being able to trade down.
That'll buy. That'll buy.
If you truly don't, like, if you want to subscribe to Mike's that you can't take him because you got Quinshon, which I vehemently reject.
You can't do that.
But it does provide possibly. I think that's the only path to a trade
Right.
up is if Love is still available. At
Do we
6.
think Love is going to be available at 6?
I mean,
No, I think going to the Titans at 4.
entirely possible.
Yeah, that would be a smart pick.
Yeah.
Get a nice young.
And who's above them at 5?
The Giants.
Giants.
I mean,
They're not taking a running back.
they got Cam
got,
Scatterboo, but Cam
yeah,
Scatterboo.
but
The brain
Come on.
damage guy. What's his name?
Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
coming
yeah.
off the.
Oh,
ankle
so
that
they
was-
can't take Jeremiah Love because they got
They
Scatterboo?
also
but
have, but they have Scatterboo and Tyrone Tracy, who's also a decent back.
And we got
I don't
Dylan
know.
Sampson.
But they could take him too. You're right. No, that's fair. If I'm going to say the Browns could take him,
Yeah.
really anybody could take him. He's that
I mean,
special. a player.
the Cardinals could take him at 3.
You never did. That's true. They have no running back. They have no running.
No,
back.
they signed Tyler Algier, I think.
He's right, but he's solid. But he's more
I'm
of a
just
second
saying,
back.
and I think they got James Conner, don't they? Or don't they still got James Conner?
Yeah, they still have Connor.
the same
but he's
argument
not-
for
yeah.
Love is really the same argument for a defensive player is you just need talent.
Right.
You need playmakers, you need
And
talent.
I don't have a problem with them taking a defensive player. As crazy as that sounds.
if that's who they think is the elite player on the board,
I got no problem with it.
then I mean the big that's how you get fired is you start trying to fill holes with guys who aren't good enough to be drafted where you're
Yeah.
going and you pass on better talent later. Like you got to take the elite talent when it's available to you.
right.
This
Ty.
team lacks talent.
If at
Yeah.
6, Sonny Styles and Jeremiah Love were both on the board, would you take the running back or the linebacker in that situation?
I take the running back.
I would too.
You guys would too?
would
if
take
they're
the running
both
back.
special, even though in a perfect world you take a wide receiver, I'd rather take the offensive player.
Yes.
If they're both special.
Yes.
So,
I'm taking
Sonny
the
versus Love in that
Yes,
situation?
yes. Tyvis, we started the show talking about the Guardians. I want your take because what's the buzz in Columbus? You got more Guardians buzz than Reds buzz right now, don't you?
Yeah,
Well,
for some odd reason, the Reds can't beat Pittsburgh, and I don't understand what that's about. So I'm sour on them right now.
I told anybody who would listen this year that Pittsburgh was going to be a decent team this year.
Why
They
would you
spent some
think
money.
that?
They spent some money.
Why would I think that? Because they got
Did
good young
Pittsburgh-
pitching, and they
Did
spent
they-
money to improve their lineup.
Did they end up starting that one guy, the one young
Connor
guy?
Griffin?
No,
Yeah.
he's in the
down.
minors.
Yeah.
But he'll be up.
He'll be
But he'll be up
soon.
soon. I
He'll
think
be
they're
up
going to
soon.
lot. We have seen some crazy. 2 guys in the last week have been signed to long-term deals who have never played a game in the majors.
Emerson, and who's the other?
This guy on the Brewers, I can't even think of his name. I'd never even heard of him before.
Ty, in Columbus, who's getting more hype as a
Yeah.
rookie, Chase or Sal Stewart?
Oh, it's got to be Chase.
Probably
Stewart played-
Chase. Yeah.
Yeah. Sal Stewart played a
kidding me?
little last year.
Oh, so the hype,
No.
the hype's a little.
Yeah.
No, it's not what you think it's supposed to be. It was nice to see Logan Allen win down a dog night the other night, though. When the home opener, that was nice.
Oh, for Columbus.
Did you go down to that?
You thought the first pitch
No,
of the
I
Clippers
didn't
game
go
was-
to that. No, what do you think I am? Some celebrity?
You
I mean,
are.
you
What
shot
are
the
talking
cannon at the
about?
Columbus Blue Jackets game the other day.
Well, that was different. That was.
But you were.
That
You
was
didn't go to.
Shoot-
You
wait,
didn't go to
hold on.
the Clippers game.
Shooting a cannon at a pro hockey game is a higher level of status than a AAA baseball game.
This is
That's what-
true.
That's true.
That's what
Very
they ask
true.
media members to do: is shoot off cannons. At the
Yeah,
audience.
that's true, they do.
No, Jason. They don't ask that at all. The one thing I want to do with the Clippers is I want to prove to the world that I can successfully steal from first to second base without getting gunned down by the catcher. That we need to put that up there
Well,
because
we got Curtis Danberg coming up. I don't know how much pull he has in Columbus, but
Yeah, tell him
we
to-
may try
tell him
to
to
see if
set
we
it
can do a
up.
pinch running appearance.
Ty, guess what?
what?
So full connection.
Yeah.
When I worked in Tennessee, the general manager of the Johnson City Cardinals
Yeah.
was named Tyler Parsons. Guess what Tyler Parsons is right now?
The GM of
The GM of the Columbus Clippers. Ty, I can put you in
Really?
contact
Tell him to
with
set it
Tyler
up.
Parsons, and we can make that happen.
I don't know who's the catcher for the Clippers. Whoever it is, he ain't gunning me down at second base. I'm gonna just tell you that.
Cooper, he's a high draft pick.
He's gunning you
Oh,
down.
you are
yeah.
so smoked. Oh my
What
goodness.
is wrong with y'all? Whoa.
Yeah.
I promise y'all, he's
Yeah.
not getting me out.
Oh, you're saying I'm talking about in a game, so you'd be playing for Columbus as a pinch runner.
I don't need no. I don't want to do all that. I just need to
just in a practice.
Yeah, it's one little practice thing. I don't want to take away from no game reps, nothing like that.
But you're not
One
getting no
practice rep.
20-foot lead and all that.
Yeah, there's a real
it's
pitcher.
normal
I'm gonna do it.
It's a real pitcher who can throw over and pitch your butt off.
Yeah, we gonna really look at it like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get a good lead or nothing
I
like that.
I think you
Set
should
it
be
up.
expecting more. I saw the Columbus roster. They're very fit. The lineup is they're heavy on pitchers. I think there's only like 10, 11 hitters on the Clippers for whatever reason. So there may be a spot for you. They might need a pinch runner, Tyvis.
I don't know, Bull. I gotta slim down a little bit. If this challenge comes, I gotta really lose like a good 5. I think I only need 5. You know,
Okay, 5. I really gotta slim down.
If Josh Naylor was stealing bases last year, then I know I can.
Josh Naylor stole like 30 bases last year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
And you're
telling
in better shape
you.
than I shouldn't say you're in better shape than him, but you look
shape.
thinner than him.
Yeah.
Listen,
There's
I'm
nothing
still
better
running
than when a chubby guy steals bases. That's my favorite. And I loved watching Naylor steal bases last year.
I'm still running a 4.46. You know what I'm saying? Look it up.
What do you think Naylor runs?
4.45.
5.2.
No, get out of here.
5.2.
No, the offensive
You
line
gotta.
at the combine
It's a technique to running the 40, and I don't
That
think
is
he
true.
has to. He doesn't know the
true.
technique,
Really?
so it would probably he would literally be running the 40. You're not supposed to run the 40. A lot of it is technique.
I mean, Josh Naylor looks like he could have played football, right? I mean, he looks like
He was an outfielder before the injury. Like
He was.
He
Yeah.
is a better athlete. I'll text Tyler Parsons.
Yeah.
I will get this in the works.
We got to
will
get
make
that
this happen.
going. Tyvis,
Listen,
Small
now-
world.
good to see you,
Come
buddy.
on,
We'll
man.
talk to you again soon.
Shot looks great.
Nice
Shout out
seeing
to
y'all too. I appreciate
the
y'all.
BNS people for putting that
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
I'm doing it. Listen, we're gonna get a backfield. Ernie Davis and Jim Brown. We're gonna do it for their legacy. Jeremiah Love at 6.
I like